Mind Natural Health. And a question that I've heard a few times recently is, should I take hormone replacement therapy? Or my doctor is recommending hormone replacement therapy, but I'm not sure it feels like the right fit for me. And so I just wanted to share with you some reasons why you may want to do some more research for yourself to figure out what's going on with you and what your body actually needs before going a route like this, and also some natural solutions and some things you can do to help yourself. So, when it comes to medication, doctors and medication have a place where there is a need for them. And there are going to be times where hormone replacement therapy is going to be the best solution for someone. And most commonly, I see that in women who have had surgical menopause. So if you have had your uterus and your ovaries removed and your body is no longer able to make the hormones that it's meant to make on its own, this is a time where hormone replacement therapy can be needed and can be beneficial because ultimately you're missing parts. And without those parts, your body's not going to function properly. So, okay, this is a time where it can be beneficial. But a lot of the times, women can go to the doctor because they're dealing with something like I was dealing in the past, and that was really heavy periods. Or if you're dealing with menopausal symptoms in your 40s, it's not uncommon for people to hear, like, let's put you on hormone replacement therapy to try and balance your hormones. This is no different than the birth control pill. The birth control pill is often used for a similar approach or to a similar strategy of let's give you this medication to try and balance your hormones. But what I like to help people understand is that we need to figure out why. Why is your body not functioning properly? Why are your hormones not doing what they're supposed to be doing? Or why is your system not doing what it's supposed to be doing with your hormones? Because if you're someone who has a hard time processing estrogen, or if it's thyroid, if you've got a hard time breaking down thyroid hormone to make the hormone that's needed for the body, and we're just shoving extra hormones into the situation, into your system, but your body's not able to use them properly, ultimately, this is not going to help. And especially when we're talking about estrogen, because that's a common hormone replacement that women can get in perimenopause and menopause, it's either going to be one of your two sex hormones. So estrogen or progesterone. And if there are things going on, like I know in terms of osteoporosis, it's not uncommon for a prevention to give a woman something that's more estrogenic because estrogen helps with maintaining bone mass. But if your body's not detoxing the estrogen properly, or it's sending it down a pathway that's leading to increased tissue growth and other problems in your system, and then we're throwing more estrogen into the mix, the body isn't going to be able to handle that properly either. So, this is where we need to start looking at things and saying, okay, what is not working properly in my body? What do I need to do to support my body so that it can function the way that it's supposed to? Because if you're having really heavy periods or really clotty periods, this can be an indication for some women that their body is pushing estrogen down the pathway that favors growth. So it's growing a really thick endometrium lining, which is causing these really heavy clotty periods. And if we're then throwing extra estrogen into the mix, and the body pushes that down the same pathway, these can be the women that they start to feel better because they're put onto hormone replacement. Maybe the difficulty sleeping goes away, or the low libido goes away, or they're able to lose some weight and they feel like, okay, things are amazing. This has been fixed by the medication. But if we haven't fixed the problem of which way your body is metabolizing the estrogen, and it's still pushing it towards this growth pathway, we can end up with growth and extra tissue formed in other areas of the body. These can be the women who, several years later, they're going to their doctor because they have a lump in places where it's not supposed to be, or in their uterus, or they have larger ovarian cysts. And so this is why I don't love the method of hormone replacement therapy as kind of a first line defense. Sometimes there is more research done, but you need to figure out what's going on with your body. And this is where I help clients because I want to test you and see what is not functioning properly in your body. We're never going to just throw something towards it if we don't know why it's not working properly. You might have a detoxification issue. You may have an issue where your body is not breaking down estrogen properly. And so when estrogen goes down, as I mentioned, there's 3 pathways, but it's 2 pathways are the most important ones when it comes to estrogen metabolism. And if we picture it as, pathway 2, which is the good one, which is actually the beneficial way that your body can break down estrogen, it actually works quite well for you if you're able to push estrogen down that pathway or that road. But if your body's pushing estrogen down the 16 pathway, this is the area where the estrogen doesn't leave the body. It magnifies it by 10 times, 100 times stronger, and it'll recycle it throughout our system. And this is when we can end up with estrogen dominance and with other problems in the future as well. So the really clotty, heavy periods, the tender breasts, the mood swings, all of the different symptoms, the hot flashes, the night sweats, all of the symptoms that can happen when a woman is going into perimenopause, through perimenopause, and into menopause are all signs from your body that something is not functioning properly. And so rather than just putting medication towards it, which can be helpful for some women in the meantime, but we need to make sure that we're also figuring out what the body needs in terms of support to help you function the way that you're supposed to so that you can continue to live healthy and happy into menopause and beyond. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So, as I said, like menopause symptoms, that's a time where hormone replacement therapy is commonly recommended because the symptoms suck. Don't get me wrong, it's not fun, but we don't have to deal with these. Every symptom that you deal with in your life is there's a cause always, and a symptom is just a warning sign from your body. It's a message from the body saying something's not working properly and something needs your help. And generally speaking, this something that's not working properly comes from kind of one of two main things. So, what's in your system or what's impacting your system that's not supposed to be there, that's causing it to not function properly, or what's missing. And the what's causing your body to not function properly, what's getting in the way, there's so many things today. There's things in our food system that are causing hormone imbalance and causing disruptions here. In our drinking water, there's chemicals in our drinking water there as well, especially if you drink tap water. If you don't have filtered water in your house, going in the shower, there's chlorine in our water. Chlorine is a chemical that's going to impact our hormones and our systems in our body and make them not function properly. All of our personal care products have things in them that prevent the body from functioning as it should be. Makeup, skincare, feminine products, which I've talked about before, all of the things that you put on your skin, in your mouth, that you breathe in, there's so many different things we come in contact with that are causing our body to not function properly. And our bodies are amazing. They're always trying to keep us safe and they're always trying to detoxify and do the best that they can. But there comes a time where the toxins become too much and the body can't do it on its own anymore and might need some support. And so this is an area where, yeah, we need to figure out what is causing the most impact for you. How can we help your body to make sure that it is able to clear these toxins properly so that you're not dealing with the excess hormones or the recycling of hormones? Because our liver is our detox organ. So it does like 600 jobs a day in terms of detoxing everything we come in contact with. But our liver is also responsible for clearing hormones. So if your liver is overwhelmed and not functioning properly and not able to move estrogen out on that 2 road, to move it out of your body and it continues to recycle and recirculate in your system, this can be a big part of why you're having symptoms. And so this is where I like to start. Why are you having the symptoms you're having? Why is your body not doing what it's supposed to be doing? Because our bodies are brilliant. The analogy that I make all the time, if you cut your finger, you don't have to tell your finger how to heal the cut. It knows how to do it. Your body knows how to do what it's doing. It's just what is getting in the way of it functioning the way that it's supposed to. And what does it need to be able to start working properly again. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. That's kind of I'm not saying that hormone replacement therapy is like absolutely no, don't do that ever. That's horrible. It's just we need to make sure that it's the right solution for your body at the right time. Okay. And so you always want to make sure you consult with a healthcare practitioner. That could be a nutritionist, could be someone like me who looks for the root cause. That's my suggestion. Find someone who can help you find out what's going on with you and your body. So I'm going to talk about, somebody had asked, and that's why I'm doing this video today. What are some natural things that you can do kind of as an alternative to hormone replacement therapy? And again, this is going to be different for everyone. So these are things that could cause you some, or could give you some relief, not cause, could give you some relief from the symptoms that you're dealing with. But again, it's important. Everyone is unique and individual, and I don't know you unless we work together and I test you. So these are things that, I mean, most of them, anyways, we'll carry on. So these are things, this is not saying like, this is exactly what you do. This will be the perfect fit for you. These are just things that will benefit most people, and they're a good place to start. So this is kind of a no-brainer. Balanced diet is a really important one. If we're eating lots of processed foods, if we're eating lots of refined sugars, if we're drinking lots of alcohol, if we're drinking lots of caffeine, if we're eating lots of foods that aren't going to help our body be healthy, it's going to impact our ability to process hormones as well. So a balanced diet overall is going to be good. You want to make sure you're getting lots of, fresh as much as possible, fresh meats, fresh eggs, fresh vegetables, as much local as possible is also good. Like fruits, and anything that you can get seasonal is going to be great. We also want to include foods that are rich in specific nutrients. So things like omega-3 fatty acids are really beneficial for women during this time of life. And I know a lot of the times I talked to a client today, and we've been conditioned to believe that certain things are not good for us, and that's not always the case. And so when it comes to things like eggs, this has been a hot topic over the last couple of years. Cholesterol and eggs are bad for you, eggs are good for you. There's so many different opinions here. In my opinion is that getting things as close to how nature created them as possible is going to be the best option for your body to be healthy. The way that nature created stuff, our body recognizes that. It knows what to do with it. It's got less chemical treatment that's happened to it. There's been less things that have manipulated the way it was designed to be consumed and to exist, right? So when it comes to eggs, I used to be guilty of this too. I used to use egg whites because I thought there's less fat. And I was an 80s kid. So I lived through the phase of life where it was like fat is the enemy. Fear fat. Fat is bad. Fat is going to make you fat. We need fat. We do. For hormones, especially, we need fat and we need cholesterol. So people that say you shouldn't eat eggs because the yolk is, or whole eggs because the yolk is high in cholesterol, we need cholesterol to make hormones. So if you're someone who's struggling because you have low progesterone, we'll talk about that again soon, but if you have low progesterone or you have low estrogen, why is your body not making hormones? Does it have the tools that it needs to make hormones? And if you don't have cholesterol to be able to do that, it doesn't have the building blocks. So we do need cholesterol, and eggs is a really good source of protein. It's basically a whole food when it comes to the amino acid profile. So they're actually very beneficial for you as long as you tolerate them well. Some people don't tolerate eggs well. So yeah, omega-3 fatty acids, we'll get those in eggs. We get them in things like fish, like salmon is a good source of omega-3 fatty acids. Flax seeds is another opportunity where you can get some omega-3s into your body. We also want to get from our foods some vitamin D, some B vitamins. A lot of the really leafy green vegetables are going to be a really good source of your vitamins. We also want magnesium. Magnesium, a lot of the times people will take this in supplementation form because we need magnesium. I talked with a customer yesterday about this too. Magnesium is a mineral that our body depletes really quickly when we're dealing with stress. B vitamins as well are ones that are depleted really quickly when we're under any kind of stress. And magnesium is involved in like hundreds of processes and functions in your body every day. So magnesium is one that you may want to supplement it or supplement with it as well. Leafy green vegetables do have some magnesium in them. Liver is a source of a lot of the minerals. If you can eat liver, awesome. I'm jealous. Well, I can eat liver now. We make that into pancakes. That's a whole different story. But organ meats are really helpful for that as well. And then zinc. So they all play a critical role in hormone production and regulation. Number two, stress management. This is something that I talk about a lot. And a lot of the times as women, I've heard so many things today that are falling into this. As women, we just do, right? There's a lot of stress on your plate. You have so many things to do with the kids, with the family, with your parents, with work, with finances, with business, with everything that you have to do. And as women, we just do. We just keep going. We just keep doing things. But stress management is a really important part here because, as I said, I would talk about progesterone a bit later. When it comes to the two sex hormones, the problem is often not when women are having symptoms, estrogen dominance is what's given the blame, but it's not a matter necessarily of you having too much estrogen in your system. It's about the balance. Like if you picture one of those scales that had the two baskets on them, you want a particular balance between estrogen and progesterone. So estrogen could actually be low and you could be having symptoms of low estrogen, but if progesterone is low as well, you can still have an imbalance here. And one of the things that can really cause a depletion in progesterone is stress because we have building blocks, it's pregnenolone, that are used to make progesterone, but it's also used to make cortisol, which is our stress hormone. So if you're constantly in a stress state and your body is constantly having to make cortisol, it's going to steal that building block to make cortisol, and then it can't make progesterone. And progesterone is, I've said it this week, is like the Netflix and chill hormone. Progesterone is the calming and the relaxed and the not chaotic hormone that's really, we need it. It's really beneficial for us. And if we aren't able to make it, that's going to be a problem. So stress management, things like go for a walk in nature, go outside and ground yourself, put your feet in the grass, walk your feet on the beach. I wish. I can't wait to walk on the beach. We're going to Florida in November, and I can't wait. But anytime you can get your feet on the earth, this is helpful for grounding, and this helps to reset that parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system, which is the stressed out, overwhelmed nervous system. We want to be in the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the calming one, the rest and digest. Things like meditation are really helpful for stress management, deep breathing, yoga. Laugh. Find a way to laugh with your family or with your kids or with your friends. Dancing, doing something creative can be really good ways to help manage stress. Number three, regular exercise is important for helping regulate hormones. And this is where, okay, so I just talked about stress. Regular exercise, I don't mean go kill yourself 7 days a week, 28 days out of the month. There are times of the month where our body can handle intense exercise, and there are times that it can't. And the week to 10 days leading up to your period is not a time to go do a super intense workout and push yourself to the edge, because this is a time where we need to make progesterone, not cortisol. So I'll do another talk about that shortly, but regular exercise is important, but again, into perimenopause and a little bit less in menopause, but through perimenopause, we need to focus on consistent exercise rather than kill yourself every day exercise. I know this can be a challenge because a lot of women will deal with weight gain or resistant weight loss throughout this phase of life. And the mentality that is often seen on social media or that you can hear from other trainers and coaches is you need to exercise more and eat less if you want to lose weight. But stress is a really, really important factor here. And both of those things are not going to be your friend in that regard. Number four is sleep hygiene. So we need to make sure that we are sleeping Women need like more than 8 hours a night to build up their estrogen reserves and their hormone reserves. Women need more sleep on a regular basis than men do because of that, because we have estrogen and progesterone are more of an important factor in our life, and we need to make sure that we're able to build those stores up in these hormones, and that happens during sleep. All of our detoxification happens during sleep as well. So if you have to choose between getting up at 4 a.m. to go for an hour workout before you go to work or getting an extra hour of sleep, you might not like me for this. My recommendation is get the extra hour of sleep. Your body needs it. You won't be able to reset your hormones properly, your immune system, your nervous system. They can all struggle if you're not getting enough sleep. And so then there's also some herbal remedies. And this is something I prefer to work with people individually because not everyone is the same. And herbs are amazing. Nature has given us pretty much everything that we need on this planet to be able to stay healthy in the form of plants and food and all of the things that we can use. But not every herb is going to, or there's not one herb that's going to have the same impact or benefit for everyone. Herbal remedies, there are some that are really beneficial for hormone health, things like maca root or chaste tree or vitex, it's also called, black cohosh. Those are all beneficial herbs that are recommended around the perimenopause, menopause time to deal with things like hot flashes and stuff. But everyone's going to be different. We need to figure out what's going on with your body and what do you actually need as support to get back into balance. Inflammatory support is also something that can be helpful. Inflammatory support like curcumin is something that I don't think that's something that's not going to benefit someone, but is that what you need? That's where it's good to work with a practitioner and figure out exactly what's going on with your body and what you need. And then also things like fish oils can be helpful. Probiotics can be helpful, but it's going to depend again on what you need in terms of support. So natural remedies are great. It's a way that you're not going to have side effects like you can from the medication as well. But again, it's something that we need to make sure it's the right solution for you. So this is something that I help people with. I work with clients one-on-one to figure out what is going on with you. What does your body need to get back into balance? What are the things that are getting in the way of functioning properly? And what are the supports that are missing? And then from there, we can put together a custom plan for you. I don't like the whole cookie cutter solution. I mean, in my experience in the past and in most of my clients, that doesn't work because it's not figuring out your individuality and what your body actually needs. So, if you're dealing with menopause symptoms, perimenopause symptoms, and you want to look at a way to start addressing things naturally, you can reach out to me. You can send me a message. Actually, anywhere that you're seeing this, send me a message. Let's connect. I'd be more than happy to let you know like how we can work together and figure out what's going on with your body. So, hopefully, you enjoyed this. Hopefully, you got some value from this. If you know anyone who's struggling, this is a rough period of life, but it doesn't have to be. And if they're looking for support or help, share this with them. Hopefully, you'll learn something from it. I shared some value with you, so hopefully, you got something that made sense for you or clicked for you there. And otherwise, I will talk to you next week. Again, it's Kate McDowell from Aligned Natural Health.